Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where three generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 3G's Fitness Podcast, three generations of fitness. My name is Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
I'm Coach Kael.
And today we are going to talk about a topic that I think would be a very fun one to talk about. How has social media changed gym culture? And so we're going to start it off with, as always, the boomer who grew up without social media and who could probably see the difference in what it was without social media lifting and maybe what it is to today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big difference, man. People in the gym now spend more time on the phone, on Instagram, taking pictures, talking on the phone. They're in the gym for 2 hours. They spend an hour of it just on the phone and on social media and stuff like that. And back in my day, and I say back in my day because we're talking about the 70s, and man, all we could do was work out. We wanted to go use the phone. We got to find a pay phone to put 15 cents in. So we spent all our time in the gym. We went in the gym for 2 hours. We worked out for 2 hours, period. Nowadays, they go to the gym. They're in there for 2 or 3 hours. Hour of the time is working out. The other half hour is talking. The other part on the phone. The other part is texting. The other part is on Instagram. The other part is taking pictures of everybody. They don't get a workout in. That's a workout?
Hey, yo.
A workout is when you go in there and you hit it for 2 hours.
Okay. So you're talking about the negative effects of gym of social media.
The difference between back then, and social media now, how it's changed
I
the
think
culture.
yes, he is. Because I think there's also positives to it. Some positives.
Oh, you think there's positives to it?
To like having
Like
more...
like how social media to the gym culture?
Yeah.
Well, what positives do you think come with that?
I think it just brought more awareness to the gym life. So there's like a lot more people in the gym now. Even like from, 10 years ago when I first started lifting, phones was still barely coming up, we didn't have social media like that. So when I was in the gym, I was in the gym too. But when I was in the gym, there weren't many people in the gym. At least my age, at least kids.
Well,
Whereas nowadays, you go in the gym, dude, it's filled with kids.
It's true. And I would probably say, would you say this, Michael, Jonathan Felcher, that there's probably more people working out in 2025 than there were in 1970?
Absolutely.
There is, right?
And
I think
definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too might have to be what Kyle just said. The awareness of gym culture through social media. And so I think it's a double-edged sword. I'm a little bit on a mixed bag in between. I started working out at like 16 years old, so that's like 21 years ago. MySpace was the major thing, but Facebook was just getting started. But none of that, people weren't really posting their workout selfies.
Yeah,
People weren't not. It was just one of those where I kind of the gym culture that I grew up with was if you had an iPod Nano, you got lucky to hear music, you worked out through that way. Now and today, you're seeing cameras being set up, people on their phone. So I do agree where you're coming from too. Because like I said, there is that whole stigma that a lot of people are going to the gyms, setting up their tripods and trying to get a workout in, but like also you're like disturbing others because they're in camera. So there's that other aspect of it as well too.
Or they're out there trying to get views, with their camera and taking pictures of things going on, and are they really serious about working out? Are they there just trying to get their Instagram going or their TikTok going or to get views on it?
All the above. All the above.
It is all the above. And then, but like I said, it also allows people to, hey, maybe I can go to the gym and do that. So I'm a little bit more of in between. I am not a big fan of what I've heard. And I just had this happen literally 2 weeks ago. In one of the small group classes that I have, one of the girls was talking about the hip thruster machine. And she asked me, she's all like, hey, can I do the hip thruster under the leg extension machine? And I laughed. I'm all like, let me guess. TikTok showed you that? And she laughed. She's all like, yeah, I saw someone on TikTok use it saying like, hey, if you don't have a hip thruster, you can go under the machine, place it right here and use it as a hip thruster. And I told her, I'm like, it's not bad. I would prefer something with a more up and down resistance than a swinging resistance. But if that's something that can show you an alternate, that's good, right? But realistically, I told her I've never put any of my clients through that. I was like, I'll just find a way how to do it on the floor or do it a different aspect of it. But I feel like social media is also showing a lot of people
Stuff that's not realistic.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
That's
like also just for the views.
yeah.
That's the downsides of it.
That's the downsides of it, because I always say this too. And then I even made a joke. I'm like, let me guess, the girl that was doing a hip thrust had a BBL, and she laughed and she goes, she probably did. You know, as a thing too. You can't always believe everything on social media. You know, if someone got out and got surgery, and then all of a sudden they're squatting, and you see them only squat the barbell, but then they're like, "Hey, sign up for my 12-week program to get a butt like this." Well, do we really know that you got the butt like that through the program or through something else? The same thing too. If you got, you know, big ass people that are on steroids and they're, you know, lifting weights, do we know if they're really natural or not? But then we see someone that's, you know, big telling us, hey, you know, these preacher curls, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, these rows, this is the way to do it. But we listen because the man is big. But did he really get big because of the workouts? Or did he get big behind the scenes that we don't know about?
Or did he get big just to get views?
You know, that's why.
And you know, I mean, I don't know. Do I like social media? Not really. Is it necessary? Yes. You know, but to me, coming from the era I came from, I think social media has taken a lot away from working out.
Really?
In my view, you know, because the way we used to work out,
No
it was
distractions.
hardcore. It
There's
was
barely any distractions.
get in there and let's knock it out. You know, let's train. And, you know, we didn't have to sit there and the phone, oh, wait a minute, man, I got to check something on my phone. You know, we didn't have that. You had the Nano or whatever that's called.
iPod Nano?
Yeah, you had
Listen to
that.
music?
We had an AM FM radio. So, you know, what else? We had to wait for our song to come. It might not come. You know, that's just what played on the speaker in the gym. And you know, I look back at you know, when I used to work out, when I used to train, when I used to lift back when I was younger, and I look now and I look around and I say, man, it's almost like a joke to me.
Real.
That's how I look at it. When I'm at the gym and I see the guy sitting there on the phone, it got to a point where it became a habit for me. And I hated that. I hated it. I'm like, man, look at me, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone, you know. And I don't get that workout that I got back then and I have now, you know.
Yeah.
But I know it's something you need. I know it's something that's becoming the thing now, you know, social media. You know, if you want your business to prosper, if you want to get out, you need it. To where back then it was, you know, flyers, newspapers, and things like that.
Business
Even though
cards.
some people laugh at some of the things I do because of what I thought was good back then. I try to do it now, but I think it never dies out. You know, from what we did back then, it still comes. It's still happening in certain ways nowadays, even if it's 40, 50 years ago and stuff. But I do think social media has taken a lot of the lust away from working
Lifting.
out. I think it has, you know, but you got to go with the time, and I understand that.
You're probably able to focus on it more back then, but now it's like a big distraction. But I think that one of the good sides of social media too, or just like internet in general, is like now we have access to all these information. So if you are that type who's like serious about lifting, you can get into lifting pretty easy because you have access to information on how to, you know, lift properly.
I'm a big fan of AI, so you know, I'm a big fan. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was gonna grow on me like it did. It
Your
has.
best friend
you know.
right
It's
there.
your best friend, right?
best
Man,
friend,
it's my
The only
best
friend that doesn't talk back to him
That's right.
and asks him more questions.
That just
Would you like-
validates him.
yeah, would you like to know
24/7.
more?
Yes.
When you guys say
What a great
something-
point, Michael.
No. Hey, when you guys
Also,
tell me
Michael, how
something-
much more do you want to know?
when you guys tell me something, I'm wondering, man, I wonder if it's real.
Fact check. Little fact check. Yep. Yep.
And then if it's real, I just don't say anything. I go, okay, it's real, man. You know, but yeah, you know, AI, it's a big thing for me now, you know, and that's part of social media I like,
Yeah.
you know.
Would you say then now, like, the quality of people working out is probably not as high as it was?
Not even close.
Really.
Not even close, man.
Even
When I worked out, we used to have monsters working in there, man,
Mhm.
training, and you would be inspired by not by what's on TikTok or what's on Instagram. You'd be inspired by them.
Yeah.
They would be in there pushing you,
Yeah.
telling you, you know, you can do this, you can do that. That's why when I was sitting there looking at that one thing we were talking about earlier, it took me back to when I was younger, and I used to have that. These guys used to have that drive with me, pushing me to do more, to work harder, to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, and I think nowadays with social media, you know, you're so busy looking to say, okay, it's done like this. Let me try it. You know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
you
Back
do.
then, it wasn't as technical, so like we could only really just base it off of what we saw other people doing in the gym, which might not be proper, but I think it taught you grit.
But see, that was proper back in my day.
Yeah,
That
100%.
what we saw.
exactly.
Yeah, this is why
Yeah.
he always gets mad when we speak all science with him, because back in
It
his
wasn't
day,
technical. It was
Doesn't
just
have
push weight,
You
which
did-
I understand.
yeah.
When I
don't get
first started
mad
too, like
that you
I
guys
wasn't.
speak. You guys speak science, fitness to me.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes I don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Okay, so if I don't understand it, it's
Then you
hard for
get
me
mad.
to speak
Yeah.
out of
yeah.
because I might be speaking out of it wrong.
Right.
But science was not big back in my day. It was that this is what
Yeah.
you do. This
Right.
is how you do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
You know. And nowadays it's micros and this and it's that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I sit there and I'm listening and I'm like, ugh, you know, just work out, man.
Yeah. No, I get
But I-
it.
but I
I get
think-
it for sure.
I think it's going back. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword, because I agree it's more of a distraction, but there's also more awareness to recovery, more awareness to flexibility, more awareness to
Just useful information.
yeah, just useful information. Because I honestly feel like I love when we talk about something as simple as a foam roller and we get all into it. And you have some experience with a foam roller, but not as much as we do, because foam rolling wasn't really
No. It wasn't.
explained to
Yeah.
you. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, the foam rolling is probably very explained now, because you just open up a phone and you can type in something with mobility because you're
Yeah.
tight, and the foam rollers will show up and they'll show you different techniques. But like you said, you guys would just show up, you guys would just work out, you guys would just lift, you guys
That's
would
it.
just, and I think it's one of those where I think the lifter today is smarter than the lifter in the past, but I think the quality and the grit, the
Yeah,
mindset,
the hard work and the ethic
the
might
hard
not be
work,
there.
that you got that. Like, I mean, you're not as easily distracted. You're easily forgetful, but you're not as easily distracted. Yeah, but
you at my age,
you
man,
forget everything.
You got to start popping that omega-3.
What's a good fish? And so, but I feel
Best fish.
what's a good fish? But it's like, but that's why I do believe it's a little bit of a distraction. It's weird because I feel like I'm in the middle of it. I don't like the perception that a lot of people have on what fitness is becoming. When you see, I'm more stuck on the aesthetics of social media. People aesthetically see social media and then they're like saying like, that's how a fit person looks like. That's how a fit woman looks like. That's how, and sometimes I'm all like, not necessarily, man. You know, I think it also tampers with expectations. So, you know, people are looking at, you know, bodybuilding expert, and guys are like, I need to get that big. So then they go in without realizing the work. They just see a 30-second clip,
Yeah.
and then not realizing that took 30 years. You know, it's not just
Or
something
they're
like
roided
True.
up, juiced
And so-
up to the bone.
yeah, but that too. But it's just there's a lot of things that I feel like when it's the gym culture, it's also like the mindset. But what you guys see on social media is not always the real truth. It's just like it might hinder your expectations. So I do think, like I said, there's that. I'm more, when I look at social media, I look at it as that aspect of like, what is it doing to the gym goers today? You think it's distracting them. I'm thinking it's actually tempering their or messing with their expectations. But at the same time, like, there are some educational stuff out there. So it's kind of hard to like bash on it. I mean, it's hard to kind of glorify it too, from my perspective. I'm not speaking on these two. I'm talking about me.
Well, I think social media gives wrong expectations to a lot of people. To me,
Exactly,
because
like
they
what you
have,
said, yeah.
I know, because when you see, like you said, when you see a guy comes out and he's got like 21-inch, 22-inch arms, they say, "Oh, I'm gonna get like that. I'm gonna get like that." And when I see that, I automatically tell myself, "Whew, took him a long time to get there."
Yes.
You know, right away I said, that's the first thing I said. I said, man, he's put in a lot of time. Where a younger person will sit there and, oh, I want to get like that. I'm not saying they can't, but I don't think they have any idea that it took this person probably 20, 25 years to get there and stuff. So I think social media has kind of, I don't know, giving people giving them false ideas on certain things they see. To where a person, that's my age and probably your age would probably look at a person and say, wow, it took them time to get there. If I want to, a good 30 years to get to that point, to where a younger person doesn't see it like that because social media has glorified it.
Yeah.
That was a good.
No, that was really good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Holy moly, Mike! I think that was really good.
Well, other old people got some ideas. We're not all off in the left field like you guys think.
I don't know about who you guys are talking about.
Yeah, but it like I said, it's good. I mean, look at us. We're recording something on a social media platform. That's all. We can't be bashing on this too much.
We do need social media platforms because I'm always saying, Felix, do our social media.
So it's not as, but I think it's like the gym culture is very it's fascinating. Honestly,
there's both sides to it.
Yeah,
there's positive and there's negatives.
And I think the gym culture probably has been one of the most impacted things because of social media. If you really think about it, I think like the gym culture, restaurants. I know a lot of restaurants get a lot of social media impact, whether things are good or bad. So it's not like necessarily a bad thing. It's just like I said, you just gotta just do your due diligence and find out what's out there, man. Because like I said, it's one of those where I use it for business. I use it for promotionals. It's like, hey, I'll just post something up. I'm probably not as active as I used to be on it, but it's like, hey, but it's something that I use it to like, hey, let people know I'm a trainer. This is my self-promotion.
Yeah.
And so,
or even just for the common person too, like use the internet just to like expand your knowledge in certain things and try to get better in the gym with proper technique and not get injured.
See, so it's got its ups and downs.
Yeah, it has its up and down. I don't post. I tell somebody to post.
No, you don't post because you don't know.
I don't know how, man. I hate it.
I don't post. I
don't post because I don't know how, but I'm not scared to say, hey, man, you need to post some of this
I remember
stuff.
when Mike was like heavy into powerlifting a couple years ago, like 2 years ago, and I think he would post like his deads. Like he would post, and then he'll post another one again. I'll be like, Mike, why'd you post the same video twice?
Yeah,
I hate posting, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. I'm not. This guy right here could post, man. You can post too. You guys post, so I just let you guys post. If I need something post, I say, hey, Felix, man, you got to post this, man.
But like I said, and then but going back, I mean, when you post on social media, it's also validating just getting that one like. That's another thing too. It's a positive thing. Like, hey, if you just deadlifted 400 pounds, comments. Motivation, encouragement.
Yeah, you could just be inspiring other people.
You could just be inspiring. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's got its ups and downs. So I'm not. That's why, like I said, I'm so just indifferent with social media because I feel like personally, it's giving me more ups than downs.
Yeah.
But the downs just fucking my bad, just irritate the hell out of me, man.
Yeah.
It's just I said the main down that I have is that you're viewing something by someone you don't know anything from, and like I said, I would be like, check the Carfax, man. Let me know if that person is legit a trainer, if that person legit put in the work, because like. Dude, like I said, if I could shoot up and gain 40 pounds of muscles, I guarantee you I'll be a lot more jacked up and people would pay attention to me more on social media
For
when
sure.
I do a
For
bicep
sure.
curl than when I do it right now.
Unfortunately, yeah, they
Well,
do get
I
more
think
views.
people that post, I don't think are doing it, and this is my opinion. Okay, when a person posts something, I don't think they're doing it to get people to try it. I just don't think that. I think when they post something in there, I think they're doing it to get views, to get paid, to try to get some kind of marketing thing going, which tells me it's not true. It's not. They're not
selling
thinking
out.
the well-being of the people that are watching, but they're thinking of themselves as, I need to get 100,000 views. I need to get 50,000 views. They're more into it to themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think people are doing things to help other people.
You know what? I would say I agree with that in bulk. What I mean by bulk, majority are like that. I would probably say 80% of people that post on social media are exactly what you just described. The other 20% probably trying to just really be out there to inspire, to educate, to
exactly.
promote or anything like that. But I will probably say, I will agree with you 1,000%. I think 80% are like that. And I get fascinated because like my favorite thing is all right, this is going to be like, maybe I'm not calling, like, I'm just going to speak on this. I love when I see people that got like 20K followers, but they're training so much less than I am. And they're struggling with a business. Cause I've met a handful of people that have over 20,000 followers. And one of them even came up to me and at the gym and like, hey, how do you get your clients? I was like, I train them. I work with them. I'm always just like, yeah, but like I don't see you promote like crazy. I was like, well, word of mouth is always gonna be my number one source.
Well, see, I was just gonna say that.
Word of mouth is always gonna be. I always get referrals, but at the same time, like when I saw this person, you know, it was a female. It was like she was not posting a lot of like educational stuff. She was posting like herself and what I look like, and thinking she was gonna get clients that way. And that's the part that I get irked from. I get excited that I do better than that person because to me, I'm like, how the hell you got that many followers and can't even get like 10 clients? That's what goes through my mind. And then when I see, I'm like, you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for your views. You're doing this for that. You're the type of individual that is making the fitness industry actually look very superficial when there's a lot more layers.
That's the word right there.
In our
Superficial.
industry.
Yeah.
And so that's the part where I guess I'm not into like that for that reasoning. I like to post funny stuff. You know, if it's gonna make me laugh, I'm gonna share that. But yeah, I think 80% of the people are exactly what you say they are. They want the views, they want the clicks.
I think this is like a whole different rabbit hole too that we can fall down into, like a whole huge topic on just how social media affects people as a whole, the negatives and the positives, because there's so much to it.
Oh,
There's so much to it.
it's a great topic. Like I said, we were just talking about the gym culture.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you call it a distraction.
Yeah.
You know, you call it could be somewhat more of an educational.
Could be a tool. Could be a
tool,
resource.
could
It's
be a resource. Like I said, I see both sides of the,
Yeah.
you know, but like I said, I feel like it's just something where I think we could definitely dig in a little bit more.
For sure,
We're just
for sure.
touching the tip
Yeah.
on this one.
Just a tip.
Just a
Just a
tip.
tip.
Just a tip.
Yeah.
But not bad.
So deep with this stuff with social media, I just think it's just and you guys might disagree with me on this one, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway.
Throw it out there. Wrap it up with it. Let's go.
I think social media has ruined training, working out. I think it has. I think it's ruined it. And maybe because of my era where I came from, that's why I think that. But back when I was training, it was hardcore. It was work. And I think social media has taken a lot of that away from working out. And I think people do things now not to get results, but to get views, to get money. you know, to where when we trained, it was all about getting to that next level and working harder and getting to that next level, getting to that next level. And then I think social media has just taken that away from it.
I like that. And you know what? We're going to leave it at that because that's where I would want you guys to comment.
How do you feel about that?
How do you
What's
feel
your
about
response to
what
that?
Mike
Yeah.
just wrapped up with? Because, hey, what he said was a mouthful. But hey, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it. So leave a comment and see if you disagree or agree with him and let us know. And while you do that, share this video. Like us.
Help us. Show us some
subscribe
love.
us, get us some love. I believe we're like 75 away from 200. So hopefully.
Seniors follow. Follow.
But we'll catch you guys on the
I'm
next
real.
episode.
I'm real.
I'm Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
And I'm Coach Kael.
Till the next one.